when I wake up to a call from my son's school to let me know that he's ready to go back to school. With that in mind, today I would like to talk about the impact this worldwide pandemic has brought to every student, teachers, and even parents when schools close. On July 23rd, 2020, an article from Time magazine stated that even on a raging global pandemic, public health experts says in-person schooling is possible, and classrooms have reopened successfully in countries across Europe and Asia. But much of the US, that's not what will happen. In my presentation, I will discuss why educational institutions are closed indefinitely to contain the spread of COVID-19. Then I will talk about the consequences of bringing students to the classroom in the middle of the pandemic could cause. And lastly, I will suggest ways to ease the stress about this whole new way of education. On an article from sciencemagazine.org on March 10, 2020, stated that there's reactive and proactive school closures. Most of the US schools have decided to delay an outbreak by being proactive, meaning not giving a possibility to infections and closing schools, instead of risking bringing students back to the classrooms. Schools are not reopening anytime soon because of the pandemic. According to the New York Times on March 17, 2020, it stated that the biggest concern of many experts is that we get too many infections too fast, and the number of sick people who overwhelm the system's capacity to care for them. And the school environment is well suited to spread disease. All LAUSD schools are currently closed, and more than a dozen Southern California colleges, including UCLA and USC, have suspended on-campus classes to avoid the spread of COVID-19. According to the Los Angeles Times on March 13, 2020, stated that the nation's second largest school system will shut down its 900 campuses serving more than 670,000 students, citing concerns over the rapid spread of the coronavirus to avoid an outbreak. Since you already know why most schools are closed, let me tell you how keeping students at home contains the spread of COVID-19. In inappropriate covering coughs and sneezing, not wearing masks, not keeping social distancing, and not cleaning and not disinfecting frequently touched surfaces, and not washing hands often with soap and water, or even sanitizing will increase the risk of spreading COVID-19. On an article on EdTech magazine on May 2020, stated that teachers might find it challenging to provide hands-on activities to go with their lessons plans, maintain consistent interaction with their students, and foster creativity and collaboration from a distance. But keeping students home gives us parents a peace of mind that our kids are not exposed to others. According to an article on the New York Times, stated that schools should only reopen if the level of virus circulating in a community is low. That is, if less than 5% of people tested have a positive result. By that measure, most school districts in the nation cannot reopen without any problems. According to Time magazines on August 28, 2020, it stated that parents, school administrators, and educators must instead weigh two bad options: isolate children at home or risk getting and spreading COVID-19 through in-person contact. There are ways to limit the spread of COVID-19, including masks and ventilation, but there is no way to guarantee zero risk of disease transmission in school. At the same time, remote learning can exact its own toll, setting back children's mental health, academic achievement, and social development, and leaving parents exhausted and demoralized. There has to be a strict protocol to avoid the spread of COVID-19 if students go back to the classroom. In the meantime, parents have to find new ways to deal with this new norm. According to an article from healthychildren.org on October 22, 2020, it stated that during the pandemic, it is important to maintain bedtime or other routines to create a sense of order to the day that offer reassurance in every uncertain time. Even with everyone at home 24/7, set aside some special time with with each child. You choose the time and let your child choose the activity. Go for walks. Simply have lunch out of the park. As you can see, schools are closed due to the worldwide pandemic and we are facing because of the pandemic. In my presentation, I talk about the indefinite school closures to contain the spread of COVID-19, and I talk about the consequences of bringing students back to the classrooms in the middle of the pandemic without any proper protocol. And I finally suggested ways to ease the stress about this whole new way of vacation.